Now picture this. Bitcoin split in two, not a fork of the network, a price fork. One approved Bitcoin wrapped in an ETF, tracked and packaged for Wall Street, and another Bitcoin, free, self-custodied, unconfiscatable, living in cyberspace, outside the reach of any government. It's not just a thought experiment. Samson Mao says we could see it, and if it happens, we might get two Bitcoin prices, just like Argentina's official dollar rate versus the black market blue dollar.
We did about Bitcoin being split, bifurcated into approved Bitcoin, the Bitcoin that's in ETFs and in funds, versus free Bitcoin, which is the self-custodied, freely circulating Bitcoin outside of the control of institutions. And I think that possibility is still there. We'll see how it plays out for sure. But I don't see Bitcoin possibly being captured because Bitcoin will always exist outside the system. Bitcoin within the system, within the financial system, is an arbitrary construct. But the natural state of Bitcoin is free-flowing outside of anyone's control. And I don't think that will change at any time. You might have a good portion of Bitcoin locked up in ETFs and whatnot, or in nation-state treasuries, but you also have a good portion not in treasuries. So I don't see it as an existential risk. There could be this separation in the future, but then you'll just have two different prices for Bitcoin, just like Argentina has two different prices for the dollar blue and then the official dollar rate.
ETFs, governments, corporate treasuries, and exchanges already hold nearly a third of the known Bitcoin supply, and that number's growing. So what happens if Wall Street's Bitcoin is one price and your Bitcoin's another? We're breaking it down, then diving into the monster bullish signals this week. Price action, Sailor stacking again, Harvard stacking big, the Fed's next move, and oh yeah, Trump's move to abolish the IRS. Sunday! All right, let's start with the big one. Samson Mao says the institutionalization of Bitcoin, ETFs, corporate treasuries, sovereign buys could cause what's called an Argentine split. That's what you get when you get an official market price and a free market price. Argentina had it with the US dollar. The official rate was cheaper. The blue dollar was way more expensive because it was the real rate in a free market. Now imagine BlackRock's IBIT, Fidelity's FBTC, MicroStrategy's holdings, all approved, custodied, and controlled. That's one price. Then there's your Bitcoin on your hardware wallet, your multi-sig outside the system. That's another price. And remember, already by December, ETFs, governments, exchanges, strategy, and treasuries already held nearly a third of the known Bitcoin supply. If that creeps up to 40-50%, Wall Street has their pool and we have ours. This makes self-custody even more valuable because the day those two prices diverge, you don't want to be the one holding the approved paper claim on Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, with Bitcoin and self-custody, everything is bullish for Bitcoin. The great fiat exploitation will continue.
Strategy has shown us that there is a glitch in the matrix and you can get infinite money. Basically, that's what it is. Zero interest loans are infinite money. So as more companies find these kind of glitches, they'll tap into them. Metaplanet's another example. It's partially regulatory based because buying spot is punitive. So people will just buy Metaplanet for exposure. So I think there are different glitches in different regions and jurisdictions that let companies tap into this money glitch. And that is good for Bitcoin because it accelerates hyper-Bitcoinization. It accelerates the global wealth that is flowing into Bitcoin.
Now let's talk price. Bitcoin is sitting just under its all-time high as of this recording, but it's already hitting new highs in the UK, Canada, Japan, Argentina, Nigeria, and more. And the bears? They're getting slaughtered. 333 million in shorts just got wiped. At 125K, another 14 billion get liquidated. That's a trapdoor to Valhalla. Oh, and did you see? Harvard's in. Yeah, the Harvard Endowment just disclosed a $116 million position in BlackRock's IBIT. Their fifth biggest holding, bigger than Alphabet and Nvidia. Brown University's in. Emory's in. Michigan's pension fund nearly tripled its Bitcoin ETF stack. Even Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund is in. BlackRock's IBIT is now the second largest holder of Bitcoin in the world, behind only Satoshi. And the ETFs are already holding more than 7% of all Bitcoin. This is hyper-Bitcoinization creeping in through the front door. It's happening in broad daylight, and Michael Saylor's at it again. $18 million more in Bitcoin added to the pile. 5 years ago, he started with 250 million. Today, 628,791 BTC. That's almost 3% of all Bitcoin. And MicroStrategy stock is up 2,600% in those 5 years. And he's not slowing down. He said he's going to raise another 84 billion over the next 2 years to keep buying. Like he said, if you don't stop buying Bitcoin, you won't stop making money. And he also said this.
On some of the other big news from today, a lot has certainly happened on this Friday, but one of those is what's going on in the gold market right now. You have the Trump administration ruling that gold bars will be subject to tariffs as well, these reciprocal tariffs. So imports of gold will be tariffed. And that's really sending shockwaves through the gold ecosystem. Gold and Bitcoin are also often compared to one another. Bitcoin called digital gold, for example. I wonder if you think this has any ripple effects, positive or negative, for Bitcoin.
It does. Bitcoin is digital gold. It's going to accelerate the migration of capital from physical gold to digital gold. Bitcoin lives in cyberspace. No tariffs in cyberspace. The big appeal of Bitcoin is it's not physical. It doesn't have weight. You can settle anywhere with anybody in a few minutes. And so gold has always been too heavy, too slow, and you can't really ship it across an ocean. And if you do, now you're getting tariffs. So I really think it just reminds everybody why the digital version of gold is better than actual physical gold. And I think it's going to catalyze a new wave of institutional adoption of Bitcoin.
All right. Crypto is stateless. It's hard to tariff. Michael, have to leave it there. Really enjoyed speaking with you, though. That is Strategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor.
You can't tariff digital corn. And now JP Morgan now says the Fed will cut rates in September and 4 more times this year. Markets have almost 90% odds of September cuts.
All right, Fox News Alert now as we take a look at the markets with just a couple hours left in trading. The Dow is up 223 points. This says JP Morgan is now forecasting an interest rate cut in September and 4 more by the end of the year. Okay, so markets are taking all of this in. In the meantime, Charles Payne is here to make sense of this. Charles Payne of Making Money.
Yeah.
Because people are looking to make money in this environment. And it seems, even when we ran our very unscientific poll on our show Twitter account, what is most concerning to you right now? Is it prices? Is it employment? Overwhelming majority said it's interest rates coming down. So do you believe that this is the case, that we're going to see several cuts by the end of the year?
Absolutely. Everything changed on Friday morning at 8:30 when those job numbers came down and those revisions came down. Because right at that point, the consensus was September, there's maybe a 30% chance of a rate cut. Overwhelmingly, everyone sees that. Now, if you talk about 4, that means there's going to be at least 150 basis point cut. That starts to add a sense of urgency. That really tells you, by the way, if the Fed has to do that, that will really be so damning for Jay Powell, because his position, anytime they have to do more than 25 basis points, it means that they're behind, right? It will sort of cement the notion that, Jay Powell was late yet again. And to your point, why do so many people care? This is what makes me so angry with the Federal Reserve. They always look at us as a whole nation. Small businesses, we have to refinance under these higher rates this year. Many can't do it. They can't make payroll. So you have small businesses that are hurting. You have individuals that are hurting. We just got a couple days ago from the New York Fed delinquency rates. All of them are spiking. So it's one of these things that Main Street America needs. And now you're seeing more evidence in the labor market, which is one of their key jobs, of course, for the Federal Reserve.
And remember, Trump already unlocked retirement accounts for Bitcoin exposure. That's 1.2 trillion in capital that just got the green light. And the IRS, well, they appear to be on the chopping block. We're about to bring it home today, but before we do, Look at our likes!
3 or 4 times, maybe. I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors powering this show over at the Bitcoin Way. While the institutions keep stacking and the government might approve their Bitcoin, you know what's better than approved? Free. Free from control, free from confiscation, and free from anyone telling you when you can spend, send, or anything for that matter. That's why self-custody matters, and that's why we work with the Bitcoin Way. They'll walk you through taking control of your Bitcoin safely, privately, and without headaches. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Period. Use that link in the show notes to schedule a free 30-minute consultation and get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into self-custody today. And once you've secured your Bitcoin, here's how to make it work for you without selling a single sat. Life comes at you fast, and if you ever need to tap into your Bitcoin's value without selling it, boom. You're holding pristine collateral. That's where Ledn comes in. Ledn has funded over $10 billion in Bitcoin-backed loans since 2018. No monthly payments, no penalties, just flexibility. You control your loan, you control your Bitcoin. Collateral is never lent out to generate interest. And every 6 months, proof of reserves. It's simple. If you need cash but don't want to sell your precious corn, Ledn has your back. Check out Ledn Bitcoin-backed loans done right. Go to learn.ledn.io/simply, and Simply Bitcoin clients will get 25 basis points off their first loan. Big finish time. And this one's wild. Trump installs Scott Bessent as IRS commissioner. Same day, Dan Scavino calls to abolish the IRS. And you know, I was thinking back to things Lutnick had said, actions they've taken, hints that they've dropped. And my friends, the abolishment of the IRS is on the table.
Think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay.
Do you believe at some point in time we could find a way, once the country's back on its feet and getting enough revenue and paid off our debt, do you think it's possible to find a way to eliminate federal taxes?
There is a way. There is a way. I mean, if what I'm planning comes out, it's a great question, by the way.
Everyone could have taken
pretty sophisticated.
And I have a real shot. We're taking in tremendous amounts of money. The answer is, I think there's a real shot. I actually say there's a shot at, we have the Internal Revenue Service. We could use the External Revenue Service, and we wouldn't even need the Internal Revenue Service.
Can we reform taxes to eliminate the need to file?
Well, it's possible. If the tariffs work out really well, you wouldn't need income tax. You know that. If tariffs work out well, our country at its richest was during from 1870 to 1913. That was the richest, and we were an all-tariff nation.
And it's possible we'll do a complete tax cut, because I think the tariffs will be enough to cut all of the income tax.
Scotty B is already on the record saying the U.S. is going big on Bitcoin. Imagine cutting rates, nuking the IRS, and rolling out a strategic Bitcoin reserve all in the same year.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets.
Well, it is definitely not impossible. Look, Max Kaiser says put your net worth in Bitcoin and we'll get world peace. Robert Kiyosaki says bonds are a scam and Bitcoin's going to $1 million. And look around. Institutions are stampeding in. Sailors stacking like a madman. And the Fed is about to flood the market with cheap money. We are watching the great migration of wealth from the fiat system into the Bitcoin system. And if you want to see the future of Bitcoin in action, the world's biggest Bitcoin mining conference, live demos, insane new rigs, and the people who are literally securing the network are heading to Dallas, Texas, November 11th through the 13th. Meet the legends building the hash power revolution, from sovereign mining to AI Bitcoin integration. Prepare to have your mind blown. Grab those tickets today and come see Simply Bitcoin on the news desk. Oh, and don't forget to use promo code Simply Bitcoin for 20% off. Argentine split or not, there's only one Bitcoin that matters, the one you control. Wall Street can have their approved coins. We'll take the freedom. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp by sharing the Sound Money Gospel. Set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. And let us know what you think of the Argentine split below, and I'll catch you all next time. Love you guys. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.